Be presenting a talk on email etiquettes. As we know, as a professionals, email is a way of our communication. Like sometimes it will be a mandatory for us to do email communication because we will be having some evidence in the future as well, and it is more professional way compared to any other form of communication. So I thought of presenting or giving some thoughts on email etiquettes. What are all the good things to follow, and why we need to follow those things, and how it will be helpful. And also there are some cons of it, and I'll be giving some more talks on that in the discussion. Okay, I'll be moving on to the first slide. Okay, as we know, email communication we do over the internet. We can call it as a netiquette also. That means network etiquette. We can say it as like the proper way we communicate and interact with each other using email over the internet. So, email etiquette, we can call it as netiquette also, just because we are using email over the internet. And yeah, like thank goodness for the email. We can thank for the email technology. Before to that, it was quite difficult to communicate over the long distances. We were using telephones and all, but still over the long distance, over the offshore and all, it was quite difficult. But email made it easier. So it's a very advantageous for the bird, I can say. And also there are some more things why it is good, like it is a quicker means of communication. As we know, it happens in a span of a few seconds, so it is a quicker means of communication. We can send or receive the information in a span of seconds, so it is very quicker. And again, it is cheaper compared to any other form of communication. Like if it is telephone also, we can say it as a cheaper because telephone costs more than email. We just need internet to send emails. We just need internet as well as that email software we need. So it is quite cheaper compared to any other things. And again, it comes in the Go Green initiative nowadays, because like everything we can't put up in paperwork. We can go with email also. For example, either telephone bill or any broadband bills. Nowadays, we are going with email bills itself because we can save the paper. It is not only in terms of this, we can use this Go Green for many other things, many other information sharing things. So it is always good to go with this, and it is easier. Any a person who has knowledge of that language, as well as that a software, whatever using whatever we are using for that email communication, if they have knowledge on both the things, it is very easy to communicate through emails. So I think it's a good and easier, quicker and cheaper way of communication. As we know, everything comes up with its own advantages and disadvantages. So even email does have cons of it. So like I'll be explaining on this in this slide. In case of email thing, we just type the text and we'll send it over the internet. But when the same communication happens through face to face, it has a lot of different things. Like we can observe different things, whether it is their body language or their emotion, what they are feeling and how they are feeling, everything we can see and get to know. But in case of email communication, it's not that case. We'll type the text and we'll send it. So for that reason, it is like I don't think so it's advantage going with email. For that, like we are today we avoid face to face communication. It is easier to type and send. For that reason, we avoid face to face. And it is always depending on the technology. So I think it's not perfect. Without technology, we can't use it. If we don't have internet, we can't use email. If we don't have any email software or any app, we can't use that. So we should always depend on technology to use this email. And again, as we know, the sender who is sending the email may write the text or may write the content in different perspective. But when the reader goes through the content in different perspective, there happens a miscommunication or misunderstanding. Because there we can't put up our emotions, feelings, or our situation. We can't explain everything. We just type the text and we'll send. For that reason, there may happen miscommunication or misunderstanding. For that reason, it might disadvantages. And again, email communication is more impersonal. That means like we say email communication happens most of the times for professional reasons. Either the boss may send email to the employees, or the employees may send it to the coordinates, or some salesperson will be sending that email to the clients. In those cases, it is always like it is not personal. It is in a professional way we use it, and it does not target any personal persons. Most of the time it is for business purpose. And again, it is almost robotic. It's like in email we always put up the things whatever necessary, and we'll put up that in a text format. Like sometimes it will be a question answer, sometimes whatever they ask will send the answer for those things. So like it is not much explainable, and like those things. So it goes in a robotic way. Okay. Then, yeah, well, what we can do to improve this email communication? Though it has a cons, there are more pros in that. That means email communication has more advantages than disadvantages. So I thought of considering those advantages and moving forward with this presentation. So here I'm presenting some helpful tips for the email communication. So every time, whether it is for email or any other form of internet communication, we need to check the spelling and grammar, because it may give bad impression on the reader. Like why this person may not aware of the proper spelling of that word, or they are not aware of the grammar. Like it will give bad impression. For that reason, we have to check. So I can give a hint. Like sometimes we may be having good knowledge of spelling and grammar. In that case we should be like we'll be perfect on that. If we are not perfect on that, there are some tools which are available to correct those things. For Chrome, we almost all the times will be using Grammarly. It helps in all the spelling and grammar check of things. So we can use like those tools if you are not perfect. If we are perfect, like we know the spelling of things and we are we are aware of good grammar, then we can do it manually. And again, distinguish between formal and informal styles when writing. As I told, so I think it is like professional email shares more than personal email. Like for professional purpose itself, we use more emails than personal. That is what I'm trying to say. So in case of professional emails, it should be advisable to go with a formal type of writing. If we are communicating with any friends or relatives through email, like it happens in a rare time, but still if we are communicating with any friends or relatives, we can go with informal way. And again, it is very much advisable to use a signature, because it will be having all the details of us, like sender. In signature, we should be having our name and our designation and our contact details, like our phone number and again country name, or like those things. And again, if you have any website, we should be including that as well. And again, if you have any digital channels, such as like a digital social media or anything, so we can include those links as well over there. So like that, we have to create a good signature. It should be having all the information which convey us what we are and who we are. Like that, we should use the signature. And after that, we have to be kind and respond promptly. That means we should use kind language, because we will be not knowing what the other person is uh, what they are, what in which stage they are when they read. For that reason, we have to be kind and we should respond promptly. And again, be concise with your subject lines. It's because I always advise to go with crisp and clear subject lines, because subject line has very less space, and again it has some limits, I think some character limits as well. to show. For that reason, we have to put very crisp and clear subject lines with less content. I can say with less words. And again, we have to address the specific person. In email, there are different things. I'll be explaining that, like us, to whom we are sending on BCC and CC, all those things are there. But still, to whom we are sending that, for that person itself, we have to address first. So we have to address only that a specific person. And in the email, we have to write in email body, we have to write specifically about what we want and how we want. So all those things we have to write it in a good way, and avoid attachments and keep email concise and within one screenshot. This is because again, email content should be it is good if you have less content. That means they do not have to scroll down and read. For that reason, it is always advisable to go with one screen size of content. And avoid a slang and text writing. That is like nowadays we use different chat languages. For that, like instead of YOU, we use only you. It should be advisable to avoid those things, because in case of email, it is good to use the correct language and in a proper way. Yeah, we need to avoid a misunderstanding which happens in email communication. When we send emails, sometimes we do not get the reply from the other person instantly, and we may not get the reply, but we should not assume any other things, because they may happen like they might have missed that email, or they might have ignored, or they have lost it. They might have forgotten because they might be busy with other work. So we may remind them for the reply, but we should not assume anything or imagine all those things. We have to avoid. Like we have to communicate in a direct way. And then sometimes more can be accomplished in one telephone call than 100 email messages. As we say, one image tells 1,000 words. In the same way, instead of sending 100 emails, we can communicate over a single telephone call, because whatever doubts we have or whatever we want to know, all those things we can get to know in a single phone call, instead of communicating in more emails. That is what this point is trying to tell. And in subject or in any other things, do not type in all the letter all the sorry do not type all in capitals. It is not advisable. If it is something like more important, then I think we can use only some 2 to 3 words. And then give credit to those deserving of it. Ask for permission to quote them. If you are using any other person's content or anything, we have to give them credit, and if we need to ask permission before using that. Or if you are resending any email from other person, whatever we have received to some other person, we have to ask permission. That is, I think it's a etiquette we need to follow. Without concern of them, we should not share it with any others. It leads to some misunderstanding or some trust issues. For that reason, if you are using some other's content or something, we have to give credit, and if you are sharing some other's content, we have to ask permission from them. And then remember that you do not have to complete confidentiality and privacy. That means in email, whatever we send, other person may send that to any other person. So we can't assume the complete privacy in email. Once we send, that is done. Like they may use it in any other way. For that reason, there are some more things what we have to follow. And that is like some words to the wise. That means we have to follow these things to maintain a proper etiquette in email communication. As we know, we have to always reread before hitting send, whether it's an email or any other form of communication. We have to reread it to find the some mistakes like grammar, spelling, or what it is presenting, and how reader may feel. All those things we have to go through first. That means we have to reread it to find the mistakes and correct it. So we have to reread, then we can send it. If not one, we have to read it twice. It is always advisable to go with twice reading times. and be aware of who is in the to field. I think it is not aware, it is compulsory. Like we should be aware of that to whom we are sending. We should not neglect on those things. Those are all main. And then there is one more thing: CC, BCC, and reply all. That means there is a difference between CC and BCC, and again there is a difference between reply and reply all. For example, I can show it in a practical way. I have one more slide. There I'll be explaining. Okay. CC is a carbon copy and BCC is a blind carbon copy. That means if we are putting any person in CC, means everyone will be aware that who is in CC. But if we are adding any person in BCC, no other person will be knowing that. Only the sender knows this person is in BCC, and the person who is in BCC will be receiving that email. Then only he will get to know that I'm the BCC. Other person will not aware that this person is BCC. So we have to put those things properly, like who has to be in CC and who should be in BCC. And again, if you want to reply, sorry for the inconvenience. Yeah, and again, if we are sending, sorry, if we are replying to only one person, we have to use reply option, and we have to use that person into space. And if we are replying to everyone who is in that email, we have to use reply all. So this thing is very careful. And again, do not use email to discuss confidential information and situation. This is because we cannot assume privacy over the email. So if you want to share anything which is very much confidential, it is not advisable to use email communication because we won't get the privacy thing over there. So it is not advisable. And it is not advisable to share username and password. Because like if we are trust the other person, we can send it. If not, it is not advisable. As I told, it is like a privacy is not there in email communication. They will be receiving that information, but after that, to whom they will send that, we won't be aware of that. But only for that reason, we should not share confidential things. Okay, as I told, there is a difference between BCC and CC. First, I'll be explaining BCC. It's a short form for blind carbon copy. That means this like a carbon copy recipients are not visible to anyone but the sender. As I told, only the sender knows who is in the BCC. And when the BCC person receives, he knows that I was in the BCC. So no other person will be knowing that this person was in BCC. Like some person will be in CC, those person will not be aware that who are in BCC. So use this when sending to a long list of recipients or to recipients that should not know each other. For example, we might be having a group of people to whom we have to share some information. But again, at the same time, we have to maintain the confidentiality of their emails. Like one should not know other email ID. For that reason, we have to put all the group members ID in BCC, so that they'll be receiving the information, but other person will not be aware of that person's email. For that reason, we use. And again, yeah, as we know, it should not be used for a spying purpose. And CC, it's a short for carbon copy, and more than one address we can add in this field. And carbon copy recipients are visible to all other recipients. Everyone will be aware of who is in CC. Like if we are putting any person in CC, that means everyone will be knowing this person is in CC. But when we are putting the same person in BCC, nobody will be knowing. For that reason, we use BCC and CC. And CC is usually used when others are referenced in the email or for those you want to include in the conversation. Which person we want to keep in the loop, only those person will be adding in CC. Here I have an example and I'll be asking question. Okay, here okay. You can go through this slide. I'll be asking question. I'll be giving some 30 seconds time. You guys have to answer for this. I'll be asking. Okay, my question here is whether Janet knows Julia is in the loop or not, is my question. What is the answer? Anyone answer? Like my question is, in CC we can find Janet Costa. What's my question is whether Janet knows Julia is in the loop or not, is my question.
So Arpita, Janet will not know who is like Julie is in BCC.
Yes, that is correct answer. Yeah, this is the difference between CC and BCC. That's what I was explaining in the previous slide. This email is going from Jonathan to Ashley, and Janet and Nina are in CC, but they have put Julie in the BCC. That means this Janet and Nina will not be knowing that Julie is in the loop, and only Jonathan knows Julie is in the BCC. Even Ashley will not be knowing that. In that cases, we have to differentiate who has to be in CC and who has to be in BCC. And here we can see these greetings. First, we have to put up the greeting. Then we can, if we want to say something or if you want to ask anything, we can ask in first line. And sometimes, if it is more professional, we will be going with a subject itself, like explaining why we have written that email. And again, like what is the next process, we will be adding in next paragraph. At last, we'll be thanking them. So here we can find some signature, like they do not have any online those channels, so they have ads they have sorry, they have given some normal signature format. This is their name and their designation and company name and company address, phone number. So this is the format we use for email. And here again we can put, like, after their designation and company name, we can add company logo and their social channels. If we want to put the website name, we can add, and again phone number has to be there in the signature. This is the format. Okay, again I have some tips. Okay, do not forget to include your country as a part of your address, because email we send to the offshore persons or some other part of the country. In those cases, we have to add the address of our area code and phone number. For example, for Bangalore, we use 080. So like that, we have to add area code for the phone numbers, and again country as a part of your address. And it is always advisable to use virus protection, as it acts as a band-aid. And again, avoid listing your email addresses in publicly available directories. That is because we'll be getting more spam emails. If we list down our emails in any public directories, those directories may sell your information to some other who is looking for those kind of client, those kind of customers. For that reason, it is very much advisable not to list your email in public directories. If it is only essential, then only we have to list down. Okay, send the right message. As I told, we have to avoid abbreviations and emotions in email, because it is not more professional way, as I thought. And we should be knowing our audience, like the language and style of writing depends on this. As I told, if you are writing to the boss, it will be different. If you are writing to a coordinate, it will be different. And if it is with friends or relatives, it will be different. So we should be knowing our audience. And again, we have to check on spelling, grammar, and punctuations. Every time we have to check on this. And as we know, facts are always backed up with the evidence. We have some evidence for the facts. For that reason, we should use always facts, not opinions. We should not put opinions over there because it doesn't backed up with any evidences. So it is always advisable to go with facts instead of opinions. And most important statement or most important things should appear in the first paragraph. Whatever we want to tell, it has to appear in the first paragraph. And again, as I told in the last email, this is the greeting and here is the closing. So dear Ashley is the greeting and thank you is the closing. We have to follow this thing. This email body may be related to the subject line or something, but these things like greeting and closing we have to follow. This is basic sense, so we have to follow this. Okay, an email may not always be the best method of communication. As I told in the first, like starting stage itself, it has some cons, but still, it is not only the way of communication. Like when you reply to an email, you must include the original email in your reply, because it keeps everyone in the loop. What was the previous message and why they are what they are replying and why they are replying. So it is advisable to use that original email. And we should not insult or criticize via email because it is not good. Whether it is email or anything, it is not good to do that. If there is anything, we have to put up in a proper way. I think that is good, and work out on differences face to face. Because face to face communication is always good. We'll be knowing what other person's status, what they are going through. So it is always advisable to communicate face to face if it is very serious things or something like that. And yeah, misinterpreted tone. As I told, some miscommunication or misunderstanding may happen. We have to avoid those things. Yeah, best impressions is equal to lasting impressions. So for that reason, it is always advisable to follow email etiquettes. So whether in any form of electronic or internet communication, we should not overuse that urgent. It is very important and it is a high priority, because the other person's status will be not knowing, and how they conceive it, and that is also will be not knowing. Only for those reason, that reason, we should not use these words. And again, will be sometimes we won't be knowing the other side person's gender. For that reason, whenever we do not know, in those cases we have to keep the gender neutral, he or she, like those we have to use something like uh, which is gender neutral terms, like we have to use those things. And don't forward or send emails containing offensive, racist, or okay, I'll be continuing it from this stage. I don't know whether it's recorded or not. I'll be continuing it. Yeah, as we know, with long sentences, we can't get what the other people is trying to say. It is better to use commas and full stops, because it is easier to read and understand. And we have to be very careful while writing because we don't know how it impacts the other person. So we should not use careless writing skills. And some unspoken email etiquette expectations are there. Like we have to reply the email whatever we get within 24 hours, because other person may have some time bound for your reply, like they'll be deciding further things based on your reply. For that reason, we have to maintain these etiquettes. And we need to establish an organized filing system. That means whatever emails we get, we have to segregate, like for what purpose we are receiving that email or who is sending. All those we can segregate. There are some options in email softwares. And again, we have to keep the copies of important emails for future references. For that also, there are some options in software, like we can mark it as important, or we can give a star for those emails. So we have to keep it for future references. And again, as we know, we have to keep professional and personal things differently. We have to use different emails for professional and business things. It is always advisable to use only one email for personal things and other email for business things. And again, this is one more email etiquette and spoken expectations slide. And we should not forget to say please and thank you. As I told in the previous slide itself, greeting and closing is very important, and you have to take in a proper way. And your emails should not be longer than one screen. That means it should not have much content in email. If it is very much necessary, then only we have to put. And don't broadcast email messages unnecessary, because it might lead to some spam issues. For that reason, we should not do this. And again, as we know, in case of email, we cannot do unsend. For that reason, we have to check the email content, then we can put up send. And in email, we cannot assume privacy. As I told in the previous slides, we will be not knowing to whom this. Sometimes we'll be knowing like to whom we are sending, but we won't be knowing who will be reading those things and to whom they will be forwarding those emails and all. For that reason, we can't assume privacy here. I think I'm done with the presentation. I'm ready for your questions. Any questions? I think it was very lengthy. Even I was not aware that it might go lengthy. You can ask any questions.
Hello, Arpita.
Should be.
Yeah, can you, if you don't mind, can you explain that BCC and CCC thing? Hello? Hello?
Okay, what was your doubt?
The
Hello?
BCC and CC thing. Can you explain that once
Okay.
again?
Okay, I'll show example like. Okay, I'll show it in a practical way. When we are sending new email, here sometimes email prompt will be like this. Here I can put I'll be sending email to Shubdeep. I can put your name in the email. And again, in CC, I may add some other person. I can say it's in the job. I'll be adding that. I do not. Okay, I'll put Sanjeev's ID in CC. Here, actually, yeah, here I have BCC option. Okay, I am sending, Arpita is sending mail to Shubdeep, and we have Sanjeev in CC. But I want to send the same email to some other person. I can, I'll take it as Deepak ID. Like, I'm sending same email to Deepak, but here like Shubdeep and Sanjay will not be knowing that even Deepak is receiving the mail. Only Deepak knows like I'm getting this email, and I am Arpita. I'll be knowing that I'm sending this email to Deepak. That means only for those reasons, in those situations, we use BCC. Did you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Deepak is also in the loop, but Shubdeep and Sanjay will not be knowing that Deepak is in the loop. only Arpita will be knowing Deepak is in the loop, and Deepak will be receiving the message.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Is your doubt solved?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Any other doubts from any other person? Okay. Nobody is asking the doubt. I think. Can we close this discussion? I don't know whether it was helpful or not. I tried my level best to give it.
Sure, it was helpful, Arpita. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Sandhya. Yes, we can close this call. It's already time up. We had actually, it was a very lengthy discussion. Yeah, we can close it. I'll be leaving the discussion.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Arpita.
Yeah, thank you for your time. For everyone, thank you for your
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.